move on to our second segment, but before we do, let's look at second round rules. Basically the same as the first, you just double it up. So a great take earns you 400 points, a good take 200, an okay 100, okay take 100 points, and a bad take you get again 0 points once again. So let's move to our second subject, first NFL topic, and fellas, let's just rejoice for the fact that this is the first week of the NFL season. We got 5 months of football, college, pro, high school. I don't care what level. Football's back, ladies and gentlemen. And we got a game on Thursday night between the Detroit Lions and the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going to ask you straight up, who wins this game? I'll start with Barry on this question, because obviously we saw the news. Travis Kelce likely will not be available for this game with a hyperextended knee. Who wins, the Detroit Lions or the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday night?
Well, I mean, for you, you've been riding the Detroit Lions train pretty hard, Paulus, over the last few months. But I will definitely say this, that you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They are the defending champions. They're going to be, they got their rings. It's banner day or banner night, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be ready regardless. Now, we know that Travis Kelce is going to be out, with the, hyperextended knee, probably 2 to 4 weeks with that. They don't sound too concerned about it. So if it's going to be one game that you're going to miss, Travis Kelce for, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think the Chiefs can be able to have enough to be able to withstand a ferocious Detroit Lions offensive attack. The one thing that I know that's going to be a big issue for the Lions is that the quarterback, I always forget his name. I call him Jimmy Lee Curtis. Jared Goff, he doesn't play that well on the road. If you look at his splits from last year, most of his touchdowns came at home. He didn't look good on the road. So he's an Arrowhead. This is the biggest place to play football, and they have the biggest home field advantage. So although they're missing Travis Kelce, although they're missing Chris Jones, they're still going to be effective because they have that crowd, and they're the Super Bowl champs, and they're going to be ready for that game. So I have the Chiefs winning that game.
That's fair. And also, too, I mean, I will say one big thing, not saying I'm picking Detroit or picking Kansas City one way or the other. By the way, the line was at 6.5. Now with the Kelce injury and the fact that Chris Jones also won't be available for this game, it's down to 5. So that feels like a line, like, could you bet Kansas City to cover that? Like that, right. That feels like something that you might actually consider now with those two injuries. But yeah, you make some fair points, Barry. I'll go to you, Alfred, now. Who wins between Kansas City and Detroit? Do you think the injuries / holdouts affect Kansas City, or do you think the Chiefs pick up right where they left off from the Super Bowl last year?
Chiefs are picking up right where they left off. Various reasons. Number one, like Barry said, they're in Arrowhead. It's a home game for the Chiefs. We all know that Chiefs fan base at home is bonkers. They're crazy. They could be effective enough to deafen the stadium to the point that the headsets in the quarterback helmet won't work. That's number one. Number two, it's a primetime game. How many primetime games did the Detroit Lions have last season? One, the Thanksgiving game, the same Thanksgiving game they lose every season. So I don't think they're ready for week one fireworks, ring presentations for the defending champions. Jared Goff is not ready for that. And then look at the losses. They lost Jamal Williams. That was their most effective weapon on the ground last season. He went to New Orleans. So I mean, I don't see. I'm not saying they're going to get blown out. The Kelce injury, yeah, and the Chris Jones injury, yeah, it's going to drop the line. But look who lines up under center for the Chiefs. It's the Houdini of the gridiron, Patrick Mahomes. Even we've seen Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs on bum ankles make magic happen and win games. We've seen him be where his team was a 3.5-point underdog in the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl, and he came out and beat the Eagles. Whether the Eagles fans want to cry about a holding call or not, he still won the game. Patrick Mahomes is primed and prepped and ready for this. It's going to be another win. I think they cover the spread. They'll win by a touchdown. Next.
Wow, very dismissive of the eventual NFC Championship participants, the Detroit Lions. That's very interesting, Alfred. That's very interesting. By the way, there's this guy Jahmyr Gibbs who plays for the Detroit Lions, who's going to be very good in the NFL. Yes. He's better than Jamal Williams.
The Lions will be on Hard Knocks in 5 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Next,
kneecaps a biting. Okay, let's move to Devin finally. Obviously, listen, the Chiefs are like kind of right in the way for our teams, the Ravens, and they are, of course, really in Alfred's way as well. As a Jets fan, but they're in the way, your Ravens, Devin, and my Steelers. So You think Kansas City gets it done on opening night, again, as a 5-point favorite with the injuries to Kelce? Do you think Detroit comes in, makes a statement, and kicks this NFL season off with a bang?
I think the easy answer would go ahead with the Chiefs and go ahead and clear the board with everybody. But I'm going to go ahead and be different. I'm going to go ahead and be Barry's nickname right now, the wrench. I'm going to throw a little monkey in it.
Look at this.
I'm going to go ahead and go with the Lions. I think that losing Eric Bieniemy is going to be a little bit different play calling. I think not having your number one guy is not going to be there. And then having pretty much one of your best guys on defense is not going to be there. I'm not saying that Detroit is going to come out and blow Kansas City out, anything in that nature, but I think Detroit has the team and is ready now, since Alfred has called them out and said that they lose every primetime game on Thanksgiving. So I think that now, why keep turning the history? Why keep following the history? Why there's something we need to go ahead and follow our logo, our motto here. Dare to be different. It's time to be different for the Detroit Lions now. And I think that the Detroit Lions will win the division for them, and they're going to win the opening game.
Interesting take. I do like the fact you were different. You know we like that here at the Grid Network, as always. So I will start with you, Barry. I think that was a great take. That was a great take. Again, I'm not going to reveal my pick until carving it up tomorrow, just for the record. But I thought that was a good pick on your part, especially to consider the fact that, listen, the stat about Jared Goff on the roast, I actually wasn't aware of that stat. So
alarming.
Especially in Arrowhead, that's a tough stage. Although I don't think the stage is going to be too big for Jared Goff. I think it's just he's a dome quarterback. He loves playing in that Ford Field in Detroit, so that playing that grass outdoor in Kansas City could be a problem. Alfred had a similar take, but I docked you points, Alfred, and here's why. I thought it was a good take, but I docked you points for this reason. You said this stage will be too big for Jared Goff, the same Jared Goff who has played in a Super Bowl. A same Jared Goff who's played a lot of playoff.
He didn't win that Super Bowl.
Wait. I'm the host. I'm the host, okay? He went on the road to New Orleans, beat the Saints in the NFC Championship game. He went on the road to Lambeau last year and retired Aaron Rodgers in a Packers jersey. Probably the reason you got him, or a reason you got him. You can thank Jared Goff. He show some gratitude for Jared Goff. Alfred, that's just don't hate on a guy who's a top 12 quarterback in the league. He's no scrub. So it's just you gotta be careful. Devin, I gave you max points, buddy. I gave you max points for the fact that not only were you different, you made some very interesting points regarding the Detroit Lions, and the fact that you sort of played it into what I was saying. Like this environment isn't too big for him. Dan Campbell, this is what he loves. This is how he's coached the Lions to get to this point, to be a potential NFC Championship contender, and put Kansas. If you go on the road and beat Kansas City, You'll make a statement. You will absolutely make a statement and put the whole NFL world on notice. Chris West likes what's going on here. So listen, again, if you guys want to chime in the comment section, absolutely feel free. Your guy, Devin. So